What's up, guys? This is Brad with Despite Fitness, and today we have a my first Throwback Thursday. I was able to uncover some footage from early meets, and so hopefully I'll create a little series for some Throwback Thursday stuff to kind of show some of my early experiences training and at performing at meets. So this one is going to be from I think July of 2001. That puts me at about 18 or so. And it was the very first meet that I ever did. It was just a push-pull, a local unsanctioned meet at a gym. And it's my buddy and my buddy Brad, you'll see him, is basically the only other guy that gets captured. And we just had some fun and try to throw our hats in the mix for powerlifting. And that's kind of, as far as competing, this is where it all started, even though training and all that stuff had already begun. So there are some other folks in this video who are calling, loading, and whatever. You'll see them kind of going on in the future, at least some of them, because a lot of these guys kind of became part of the crew that I fell in with and really learned how to powerlift. Probably the foremost of which is Bob Biersbach. He's the kind of the tall guy spotting and loading on the right side of the screen for most of the time. So big thanks to Bob for kind of giving me my start in powerlifting and coaching me, training me, and being there for me for so much. So anyway, check out the throwback. Just for shits and grins. I'll do a little voiceover for the whole thing as well, just to kind of give some explanation. And hope you guys like it, and we'll talk to you later. Peace. Peace. All right, here we go. Get into the video. So this is at a local gym. It was just really kind of down the street from where I lived, and they decided to do a local, just an unsanctioned push-pull, and I think there's a fair amount of people in it. Not too special, but what you can see me kind of walking around. My hair is dyed all blonde, not because I was a big Eminem fan, but it was something I had done for soccer, just to kind of stand out and I guess be outlandish. Loading the bar up with I think 250, give or take, and you can see the shirt that I have on is an old kind of a super shirt, something that happened or existed, like it kind of predates modern era bench shirts. So hit the 250, everything looks pretty good there. And you can see Bob there, the guy that I mentioned before, on the right side of the screen. Became kind of a big mentor for me and ended up traveling around with me quite a lot. You'll see him in future videos. And this guy here, this is Brad. He was a buddy of mine through high school and then into college. And he and I did some training together kind of early on to train for quote-unquote powerlifting. Mostly in my basement, and I think he's got 275 here. It looks to be maybe 275, and So Brad and I were thick as thieves for a good while, and competed in our first powerlifting meet together. My turn back on the board. I think I make a jump up to what appears to be 295, and trying to see what we can do here. I think at the time I was 18 or so. I was probably only about 180 pounds, give or take, probably soaking wet, and trying to get myself amped up and ready to rock, and still wearing the super shirt that my dad handed down to me from his powerlifting days. And take it for a ride. You can see on the left side of the screen there in the tank top, that's Jeff Johnston, another kind of a very prolific powerlifter from Michigan. Also became a real good buddy of mine, still a friend to this day. We talk quite a lot. And so I missed my 295. So no 295 for me. This is Brad going for what looks to be 285, maybe 285 or 295. This looks like a 25 and a 10 or so. So yeah, probably 295 as well. And yeah, we'll see how he does. Looks like a missed groove. Power was there, but you see kind of how he stuttered there. That part where the kind of the triceps take over, it looks like he misgrooved and maybe started to come up a little bit too far over his face, and so you saw him kind of lose balance with it. This is a reattempt for me. You can see I ditched the super shirt and just going for a plain white tee, and we'll see what we can do. These are the days that I didn't have a lift off anymore. I almost never lift without a lift off. It's much easier to stay in position. So kind of part of the fun for this is looking back and seeing kind of what I used to do and how I used to do things, and seeing in some senses how sloppy I was. But you live and you learn, right? Brad coming up for his third attempt on bench. It looks like he's taking a repop of the 295. It looks like a 25 and a 10. I'm not sure. And had it close, just barely missed the lockout. So I think the strength was there, but just couldn't put it together. So I think so far he's got me on press, and he's taking his opening attempt for deadlift. Looks like he's got 295. That little look that he did there to the left, that was something we talked about when we were training. Yeah, he was joking how he was gonna turn his head off to the side to kind of show how easy the lift is, and so that's kind of where that thing came from. This for me is my opening dead. Looks like I got 365. Fairly easy attempt for me, and got on the board. And here's Brad's second attempt for dead, and looks like he's got 325, perhaps. And you can see he's got a super suit on, and again, the suit that I was wearing and the suit that he's got on, those are both kind of remnants from my dad's powerlifting days. I don't know if it helped at all, but in my head I thought it helped. I remember for my first couple of meets, those were what I would wear as a singlet for deadlifting. So getting ready for my second attempt. Forgot the belt, kind of a necessary item. And back in those days, I used to just pull in some Sambas, so it was a nice flat shoe and no real cushion or anything to it, so it was a nice stable foot position for me to have. And then you can see the soccer shorts that I have on, rocking the soccer style. It looks like I'm pulling 375. I think it's 3 plates, a quarter, and some fives. I'm not sure. Here's Brad going for what looks to be 315, and no go on the 315. And then here I am with my last deadlift, going for 35. Looks to be 395. I count 3 plates, a 35 and a 5. So I think that's 395. Early on, I was always a pretty good deadlifter, and my deadlifting really took off after I got in with a group of guys and started training and did pretty well. So from a very early age, deadlifting was always quite easy for me, and was always my best lift, so it was one I always enjoyed the most. It's interesting to look back now and see this wide stance that I kind of had. Almost looks like a Brian Shaw kind of a pull. But anyway, guys, that's the video. That was it. I think if I recollect, I think I remember winning that for my division, but I don't really recall for sure. Just kind of a fun thing to look back and see, the genesis of kind of the powerlifting competition, and having some fun with it, and then looking back and seeing how I used to look, and how small I was. But yeah, that's the video, guys. I hope you liked it. Like I said, it's nothing too special, but just kind of an interesting look at my powerlifting days from before. So I'll try to do a little mini series and capture a few more meets that I did in my earlier years, and maybe do some voiceover. If there's a lesson or takeaway that I have, I'll share that as well. Thanks for checking out the video. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.